I decided to openly talk about microdosing because I had no idea how positively it would have affected my life.
George Burke is a Silicon Valley entrepreneur working in the field of mind and body experimentation. Every morning before he goes to work, he consumes a tiny bit of LSD, about 1/10 as strong as a typical dose.
With microdosing, I don't really feel any effects. I don't know that I've really taken it, other than I notice that my brain seems to be able to solve problems a little bit better than I was before.
Burke has calibrated his dose so that it merely tweaks his perception and doesn't interfere with everyday tasks. He's part of an increasingly popular trend called microdosing.
And I'm feeling a little more connected, both to my work and to the people that I need to talk to on a given day. Let me tell you about the first time that I did LSD microdosing. I had a big task I needed to take care of, putting together a large business contingency plan. It would have been difficult to think about each contingency and incubate it and put it on paper. This was going to be a very large document that I was putting together. After microdosing, what I was able to do, and this just intuitively came to me, was to envision each contingency as branches of a tree. And I could picture each one as a branch, and I could visually climb this tree and reach out to one branch, grab that idea, incubate it, write it down, and then place it back up, and then go to the next branch. And I could do that all throughout the entire tree. And it was a very interesting way to visually solve what would have been a very complicated problem to do otherwise. So what's interesting to me is the thing about rock climbing is that it's just as mental as it is physical. In fact, you want to minimize how physical you are by using your mental acuity to figure out the right path to go up. You want to optimize that so that way you're not burning out. Microdosing has helped with the ability to figure out what path to get on.
Microdosing has even allowed him to taper off his use of Adderall.
Microdosing of psychedelics, LSD specifically, has been something that has allowed me to not feel trapped in my current ADHD medication. That there's another answer, there's another way to be able to have a cognitive enhancement.
The use of psychedelics as productivity and creativity hacks reaches back to the very beginnings of Silicon Valley.
The minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing.
When Steve Jobs told his biographer, taking LSD was a profound experience, one of the most important things in my life, it was bound to have an impact. Jobs' willingness to speak out helped inspire Burke to go public.
People like Steve Jobs and his public advocacy certainly has helped, but it means people have to actually step up and state what they've been doing. Not just that, there has to be less repercussions from the government for engaging in an activity that's illegal.
Drug prohibition has prevented scientists from studying the effects of microdosing on the brain. Now that more people are experimenting with consuming tiny amounts of LSD, that's started to change.
Microdose originated because Albert Hofmann, who originated LSD, had tried, of course, all kinds of doses in his lifetime, and he actually microdosed for many years himself. He said it helped him think about his thinking, and he indicated this was an under-researched area, and I became interested because it was an under-researched area.
James Fadiman is an author and researcher at SoFi University in Palo Alto, and he's gathering survey data from LSD microdosers about their experiences.
What we've done is what I call search, which is here is some uses of psychedelics that we don't really know about or really understand. All we seem to know is that they matter to people and they're very safe. So we've basically said to people, we can suggest how you can take it safely and effectively. In return, you tell us how it's working for you, both with physical conditions, mental conditions, and for enhanced health. People who are either depressed or on antidepressants and don't like it find that microdosing, in many, many cases, turns around their depression very, very quickly. Another area are people who are in the creative arts or in the creative science more, who find that they function a little better, meaning they can basically work slightly, not necessarily more creative, but more time in what's called flow.
Fadiman isn't making any empirical claims. His hope is that scientists will use his observations as a starting point for further research.
It's as if we've now discovered this new world and we've mapped it a little bit. And now someone says, well, now let's get the hard science under this. And what I hear from the research community is they're ready to go.
George Burke hopes that microdosing will continue catching on in Silicon Valley and beyond.
With a population of 300 million in the United States, imagine 1% of those people are taking some form of cognitive enhancer. It's 3 million people who would be able to solve problems better and faster, and with a better sense of connectedness than we've ever seen before. What impact would that have on America? I can't imagine, but I think it would be profound.